everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into another video of RC drifting, a super fun hobby that's growing across the world extremely fast. Whether you're brand new to RC drifting or looking to improve your skills, this video will cover all the basics you need to get started, especially with rear-wheel drive drifting. And when it comes to RC drifting, there's two types of chassis, all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. Today we're focusing on rear-wheel drive because it's where you can really sharpen your skills and get those realistic controlled slides. Now this setup is a rear-wheel drive setup. It's more of a cheaper chassis, but this is a Secura D5. I've done a video on it on the past, but a lot has changed from it, from motor switching to the front, direct drive steering, new suspension and battery layout. A rear-wheel drive chassis allows for more steering angle, which is critical for pulling off those tight, long drifts. The weight distribution on a well-set rear-wheel drive chassis gives you a more balance and makes it lighter. It's more nimble. This is why rear-wheel drive has become the go-to for advanced drifting. When it comes to RC drifting, tuning is your biggest problem. You can buy an out-of-the-box car, but it might not drive the way you like a Secura D5. These take a long time to actually get running very good. I've done a lot of upgrade parts, like new knuckles, suspension, a lot of things, aluminum parts. It just takes a while to get running actually decent, whereas you buy a bone stock RDX or RD 2.0, they have good factory settings where you don't have any problems, whereas the D5s just need a lot of tuning and a lot of work to be done on it. I'm very happy with how this actually drives, but it's taken a while to get here. So now we're just going to talk about what each electronic does and what you need to actually get into rear-wheel drive drifting. So we'll talk about steering servos first. This is a Power HD D15. I've never actually used this. This is for an upcoming build, but the one that I have been familiar with is my RevD STR RSST. This is a drift-specific low-profile servo. Works extremely well. Nice and smooth. It's not too fast either, which allows it to have good steering and controlled drifts. So next we'll talk about motors. This is my D10. I only recently just bought it. Works extremely well. Super smooth. I also have this in my RD 2.0 that's not with me right now, but I have this in it. This is extremely well. I like this better than the D10, and it is cheaper as well, but that is probably my favorite motor right now. There is a big difference between motors though. These two are censored, so they have a sensor wire going from the ESC to the motor, but you can get uncensored, brushed and brushless. So these are both brushless censored motors, allowing you to have boost and stuff like that powered to it. Brushed is very cheap. You can get away with it. Motors, you can get away with not spending crazy money on it, but this is definitely a motor I recommend. I'll put links for everything in the description. So we'll talk about ESCs now. ESC stands for Electronic Speed Controller. So this is a high-end one, budget one. Both hobby wings. Again, this one's for a new build that will be happening in a few weeks. This is what I'm running on my D5 right now, right here. But best upgrade I've ever done. It did cost a lot, but you have heaps of settings. You've got boost, turbo, you can activate RPMs, cutoffs, just drag brake, which most ESCs will have. This still has turbo and boost, but you can't go as high in degrees as this can. So, but if you want to go budget option, this is what I would recommend as well. Still has your turbo and boost to make drifting a lot easier, but if you can afford this, get this. There's still better than this, but for me, I like this a lot. So transmitters are a very controversial thing. In my opinion, the more money you spend on a controller, better your car is going to drive. When I went from a cheap like $50 radio to this NB4 2 years ago, it just made the car feel incredibly different. It made everything smoother. I was able to adjust everything as well, and being touchscreen as well, it makes everything so much easier to access. But yeah, extremely well. They don't make this anymore. They make the Plus version, which costs a lot more. I think I got this for 250 Australian a while ago, but they don't make this. They've discontinued it. The only way you can get something like this is if you buy the Plus version. So we'll talk about batteries now. This battery, although it lasts long, it's pretty heavy for a battery. For RC Drift, you want to have a lighter and smaller battery. Other than that, they're still good. You want shorty LiPos because that's how most chassis will take them. This is custom though, but this still fits. But yeah, generally speaking, you want smaller than this, like height wise. But yeah, so for RC drifting, this is your holy grail, basically, a gyro. This is what makes RC rear-wheel drive drifting possible. It's your counter steering device. So in this one, I have a Yokomo V4, which is a lot better than this, but this is for a budget build. Anyways, if the car was on right now, I'd lift it up, turn it, these wheels would turn like this by itself, and it'll hold a drift. And if I go this way, they'll turn and counter steer the other way. So this is how RC drifting works. It's your counter steering device like a real car, but it does it for you instead of you having to do it yourself in the car. And we'll talk budget versus cheap now. There's a big difference between it. Budget, generally you're going to have a rough time learning to drift, especially when you prioritize budget on servo and gyro and your controller. These things are something you generally want to buy more top of the line, as it'll make everything a lot easier. Going budget, what I did when I first started, I didn't think I had to go budget. I didn't think I had to go expensive, sorry. So I went budget everything. I think I went like a $20 servo. I went like a gyro that was built into the controller, and I just could not drift. Nothing would just work. So I went out, bought my Rev D, bought my V4, and bought my Fly Sky controller, and changed the car completely. I could actually hold drifts and actually have a good time. So there you have it. There's a slight basic tutorial breakdown of rear-wheel drive RC drifting. In my opinion, I would stay away from this chassis. It just takes ages to get used to, takes ages to tune. I would definitely recommend one of those. Yokomo RD 2.0. Hands down, out of the box chassis is just amazing. It's a lot more expensive than this, but you won't have problems with that. This has just taken months of like upgrading, tuning. Just buy one of them. It's so much better.